Hey guys, welcome back to markdillon.com, or if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, please click subscribe and help me get to 17,000 subscribers. Some of you have emailed me and asked where I've been. It has been about a month since I put up a new video blog. Now, I do update my site, markdillon.com, every day, but as far as a video blog, it's been about a month, and I'll be glad to tell you why. I've been on vacation. I was in Vancouver with one of my good friends for a while, which was an absolute blast. What a gorgeous city. Some of the most incredible natural beauty you'll find anywhere. And we had some incredible food, some great conversation. I got to meet his parents, who are very smart, very successful people. And some of the great conversation we had involved them. His dad is a very talented doctor. He does a lot of research as far as HIV goes. So I learned some new and very some good things, some scary things, but and I may do a blog about them at some point. But the truth is, the more you learn, the more you realize what an incredibly complicated issue it is, and the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. A very interesting conversation and a lot of fun. Now I'm in Las Vegas hanging out. One of my good friends from Montreal came down to visit. He actually went to Phoenix first for one of the big industry events. I generally don't do those kind of things, so we decided to meet in Las Vegas, and it was a lot of fun. I don't have a big social circle. I don't have a lot of friends. That's by choice. But what I do is I make a very concentrated effort to grow and maintain the friendships that I have. I'd rather a few very high quality people in my life than a ton of kind of meaningless, unimportant people who cause drama. So that's just my preference. But I think that it's very important to work at your friendships. Quality friendships don't happen by accident. They require effort. That means more than just the occasional what's going on text message or checking their Facebook status or following them on Twitter. People react to each other best face to face. So put some effort into your friendships. Focus on the high quality people in your life, and don't let the bozos take up too much time. Now, on to tonight's question, which is from Paul. He says, "Hey Mark, thanks for your YouTube videos. I enjoy them a lot. What advice would you have for someone trying to change their parents' views on the gay community? I'm a young professional, not living with my parents, but we are still very close. I know they love me and have tried to accept me being gay the best that they can. But they still say things like they are concerned about my health, or that I'll never find true love because the gay culture is more about partying and less about monogamy and building a family. My parents are not stupid people. They are very successful and fairly liberal, but their view on this seems very dated. What do you think I should do to help change their views? P.S. What do you think about the new Indiana law?" All right, Paul. Well, listen, as far as the Indiana law, that would be a video blog unto itself. But my short answer is I think that it's absolutely ridiculous. I think to use religion as an excuse to be hateful towards anybody is despicable. I think that it's an absolute shame when you use hate to affirm your faith. I think that if you believe in an omnipotent God, no matter what religion you're in, it's very foolish to think that he needs you, particularly an Indiana pizzeria owner, to decide who's living a quality life and who's not. That's that's so silly when you think about it. That God needs you to be the middleman to adjudicate these things. And I also wonder if these people are practicing equal opportunity discrimination. Are they only discriminating against gays, or will they refuse to serve someone who, let's say, violates any other tenant in the Bible? What about somebody who eats shellfish? Oh, did they read Leviticus? Or what about somebody who's wearing clothing made of two different materials? What about somebody who's divorced because of adultery? What about somebody who's bared false witness? Which would actually eliminate a few bloggers that I know. Anywho, so look, I think it's silly. It's ridiculous that in 2015 we still have this nonsense going on. But what I am very glad to see is the companies like Walmart, like Apple, like Salesforce have stood up and taken a stand against this kind of nonsense. And I think the best way to deal with this kind of stuff, and by the way, I just want to digress for 1 second. the people who went onto that pizzeria's Yelp page and started posting obscene pictures, how stupid is that? That's not a good reflection on the gay community. You think that really helps our cause and makes us look any better than these people are trying to portray us as, to be putting gay porn on their Yelp page and obscene pictures and all of that kind of stuff. I was disappointed to see that. But I was very impressed to see companies like Apple and those companies stand up and take a stand against it. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about it because, again, I've already gone on too long about it as it is. As far as what you can do to help change your parents' views about the gay community, Paul, the truth is you can't because you don't represent the gay community as a whole. There are certainly plenty of successful, healthy, content gay men out there, but there's more than enough whose life revolves around the clubs and the bars and the drugs and the partying and the dysfunction to give your parents' views some merit. So all I can tell you to do is lead by example. And what I think is happening here is their love and concern for you has taken something that has some merit in reality and turned it into an kind of an irrational fear. So, in the back of their mind, they probably know that the entire gay community is not one big circuit party. But because it's you, their son, who they care about, that view becomes magnified into an irrational fear. So, what I would advise you to do, use your life to lead by example. You said you're a young professional guy, so show them you're being successful, you're supporting yourself, you're adding more to the world than you're taking from it. Make sure you introduce them to other high quality gay people you meet. Um, again, lead by example. That's all you can do. Uh, as far as your health, I'm assuming they're referring to HIV. It won't be a pleasant talk to have, but I think that it's reasonable for you to address what you do to protect yourself if they bring that up, whether that be condom usage, sex when you're in a monogamous relationship, taking Truvada, whatever it is that you're doing to protect yourself. I think it's reasonable to tell them to help assuage those fears. Again, that would be a very uncomfortable conversation for most people. But if they're concerned about it, I think you should take it head on and tell them exactly what you do. Uh, as far as building a family, I think you should remind them that we really, as a community, haven't had the option to do that before. So, for a long time, the interaction that a lot of gay men had simply was going to a bar with blacked out windows or some anonymous meeting place for sex. We're just now beginning to have the ability to have a traditional family. So I think you should remind them of that. And look, they're not. It's not just straight people who have this concern about the gay community. Some of my friends say the same thing. I've complained about it. I can't tell you the number of people that I've met whose life seems to revolve around, Friday and Saturday to get to the club and get, whatever drug that they want into their system and party and all that nonsense. And so there are people who fit that stereotype, but that doesn't mean that's reflective of the community as a whole. I mean, I've never done a drug in my life. I've never smoked anything. I barely drink. I didn't go to my first gay bar until I was 27 years old. Not because I have anything against gay bars and clubs, but they just have no appeal to me, and they still don't. If I do go out, it's usually because a friend has drugged me out, and I spend the whole night sipping my club soda and not talking to anybody for the most part. Now, let me say, that's not a reasonable thing for most people. There's nothing wrong with going out, having a couple drinks, socializing, but it should not be the driving force in your life. If every night revolves around you going out and getting high and partying and all of that is reason for concern. And there, it's sad to say, but a lot of young gay men fall into that trap, and a few older ones. I mean, there well, more than a few. I think probably all of you have seen some 50-year-old guy at a gay bar in his skinny jeans, pretending to be 35 or 40, trying to pick up a guy half his age, or the guys who spend all their time in the company of let's say, compensated companions. And again, look, life is about moderation. So there's nothing wrong with any of that done with the right balance. But there are people who take it to the extreme. So Paul, don't fall into that situation, and don't reinforce those views with your parents. So that's my advice to you. Lead by example. Introduce them to high quality gay people in the community, and give them some. Let that be the catalyst to help their views evolve over time. You help broaden their horizons, and their views will change over time. So, Paul, thank you for your questions. Guys, thanks for tuning in to markdillon.com. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks.